is not going to go away. So we are introducing into all of our client agreements, financing agreements that we will have with our clients from January 2023, a commitment to aligning with the objectives of the Paris Agreement over time. Because at that point, the financial institutions, we cannot set up our financial institutions for failure. They will be at a very early stage of thinking about this. So they will need to get a lot of guidance, build up their capacity. But this commitment we want to see. And I could definitely see the potential of the committing to the principles of the mainstreaming initiative as a demonstration of this commitment. Yeah. It might require further work, but this could definitely be helpful, because it could be a simple way for banks to understand, okay, these are the core aspects I'm committing to, and I'm happy to do so, and I sign up. Or I don't, which means I need to build up my capacity and understand what this means. So I see this definitely as a tangible opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dana. I don't know if other speakers would like to add a few words on that point. No, not really. Maybe an interesting point as well is the fact that I would just maybe highlight the fact that some actually members of the mainstreaming initiative have also started to also voluntary report on how they are concretely taking steps towards progressing around these 5 voluntary principles. And I think yeah, and this is also coming from private sector institutions, yeah, so there is potentially as well an opportunity here to also engage with them.
Karel Cronenberg has raised his hand. Karel.
Yeah, if I may, from the chair, of course. Yeah, you can hear me.
Yes, Karel, we can hear you.
Okay,
and we can see you.
No, just I thought it was a very interesting event, and also I thought the last question was quite interesting as well. My question is also a bit related to the scope of methodologies, because especially Dana, you have mainly been talking about banks, but to what extent, if you have, I would say, you have quite a diversity of FIs, of course. Yeah? You can also think of insurance companies, or in our case, we work mainly with public financial institutions, so on a municipal level or on a national level, and of course the governance is quite specific. What are your experiences with working with other types of financial institutions, and do we need to work also and think about a criteria for those type of organizations?
Okay, thank you, Karel. So first of all, yes, you're right, and yeah, as an ex-colleague of mine, of course, you're right about the diverse range of financial institutions that we work with. Again, going back to the survey that we did, we could see a massive gap or massive difference between perception of climate depending on the type of institution. So banks seem to be the most advanced. We could see that leasing companies a bit less, microfinance institutions, really, you know, the gap was massive. But on the other hand, when there were also questions on willingness to engage, and we could definitely see that microfinance institutions were willing, but probably their starting point was further behind than for the banks. When it comes to different types of institutions, I think there are two things. One is having a common approach, which I see more around principles, and those principles should be as flexible and agile as possible so that we can address institutions in our specific contexts. When it comes to the EBRD clients, so far we can see that our proposed approach works for majority of institutions. we can see that perhaps the likes of insurance will probably need a bit more adjustment. But the principles that we have developed are applicable across the board. So I think that we always say we believe that the transition journey is pretty much the same for everyone. It's the starting point and timeline which will often be the major difference. Yeah. I hope that answers, Karl.
Yeah, it answers, and yeah.
Okay.
Just maybe if I can add, I mean, we don't have as much complexity probably in Latin America as you may have in the BRD region, but in essence, I mean, you have to remember that these guidelines are for financial intermediaries, but they're all guidelines for other sectors. So if something isn't captured in that specific entity, it could be that you're going to have other sectors that may capture those principles, no, in terms of use of proceeds, in terms of activity or sector. So just from our side, I guess that part.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you. Maybe to conclude on this session of the workshop, I would maybe ask you to, if you could just in 1 minute, just present for you the next steps in this journey, and also highlighting how we could also help you with the mainstreaming initiative. If you can just elaborate. Maybe Arnaud, would you like to start?
Okay. Well, the main step for us in alignment of financial institutions is looking at how we assess the alignment when we finance only SMEs through financial institutions, and how can we support a financial institution make progress or mainstream climate considerations if we only finance a small part of the portfolio. So these are the two topics for us, and the underlying question, and I know that you, like Alice, is going maybe from looking at what we finance to who we finance. So yeah, that'll be our main challenge. Next challenge.
Thank you very much, Arnaud. And yes, indeed, we can imagine the difficulty of assessing the alignment of SMEs. Francisco, would you like to go next?
Yes. I think the topic of efficiency in the alignment process is critical. We tend to have the same financial institution clients for several multilateral banks. For example, let's say there is a bank in, I don't know, Morocco, and then that bank is going to be a client of EBRD, potentially, of IFC as well, perhaps Proparco or other institutions. So that bank has to receive consistent messaging. And it is doing step 1 and 2 with IFC, step 3 and 4 with EBRD. Then I think we have to think about the possibility of having I would say, a pre-qualification process for financial institutions that are already working through the roadmap of Paris alignment with different parties, but at the same time with a consistent approaches. So that will save us time, will also improve consistency on our engagement from multiple parties with the same financial institution, and at the same time it can really fast track the process. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel so many times.
Thank you very much, Francisco.
No, apart from agreeing from the colleagues, of course, I mean, that matter of efficiency, understanding that we have the same clients and that we have to entertain that dialogue definitely is important. The other aspect is that there is already a work plan in place and a lot of deployment. So we've done a lot of work now, and now comes the really tricky part in terms of disseminating, engaging with all the clients, making sure that we align all the technical assistance and how do you prioritize, what are the criteria, and how do you deliver the resources to the right entities and the right countries. So that I think, in fact, is where the bigger challenge lies, because we'll put this in practice, what has been mostly theoretical on our desks, but we'll have a lot of lessons learned along the way, and I think it's important to continue that dialogue with our colleagues as well and see how we can help support each other in this progress.
Okay. So, yeah. So for us, the what is on our plate now is to scale up what we are piloting now on a number of projects to our 300 clients. It's going to take quite a bit of time, but we have to go for it. So I think that we are well positioned to for the 1st of January 2023 deadline on Paris alignment. I think what we need to get to collectively is to probably get a bit more comfortable with uncertainty. Because this process is going to be messy. We will be going back and forth. Things will be evolving. And when I mentioned the matrix as we were developing it, we had to go back and forth so many times. And even when we started working with clients, it did require a lot of back and forth and explanations. And it's not going to be as a linear process as we might expect from our previous experiences. And we will all need to get comfortable with that fact. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all of you, and I think we would be happy to continue the discussion with all of you as you are also moving forward in the implementation of these approaches. We now let the floor.
Well, we managed to keep Alice for the first 10 days. Don't break anything now, please. So I've been given the difficult task of concluding this 4-hour session. I don't think I can actually do that. There's been too much has been said. I think what I'll remember of this is that I like the illustration of you saying that it was a journey. I think we now know that it's not just about climate finance. We need to get to Paris alignment, and the journey is not simple. You said it's going from Sham to Madrid without a map. Well, I think that's what we've all been trying to do. And I think it's great that we've been able to have this discussion to share the different journeys that we've been all taking and the different steps that we've been taking, and we've shared some of the tools, the approaches. I think these illustrate quite well the different steps that have been made. I think we all know also that it's still quite a bit of the way to go still, and the journey is still quite long, and that I think we would all gain from working together on this. The initiative is one of the places you can do that, and we hope that we can support you in this journey by sharing experiences. We've also said, we've focused a lot during the second part of the session on the broader work that needs to be done with financial intermediaries and the broader financial system also, and I think you all have quite a key role to play with that. I'd just like to, I'm not going to summarize the discussions again. The recordings will be available online on the Mainstreaming Initiative's website. I believe they'll also be available on IDFC's website. So if you want to take a look on what's been said, I would invite you and encourage you to do that. I'd just like to take this opportunity, to thank Aki from New Climate again for helping moderate this event and organizing it. I'd like to thank Sarah for taking the time and for making sure that none of us went over time during this session, which was quite a difficult task. I'd like to thank also all of our speakers today. There were quite a few of you, and I think you all provide some very insightful information, and thank you, all of you, for preparing this event so well. And I'd like to finish by thanking Alice for all the work that's been done for this event. She organized it, and I think there was a lot of work put into that, and she organized all the events. Also that the initiative organized these past 10 days. So I think we're going to go home now, quite tired. We're also quite tired from the past few days that we've been having here, but very happy with the discussions that we had. Thank you for your support, all of you, and we look forward to the further discussions, and this year and also next year. Thank you very much.